Before you list your home in Milton this year, stop just for a second. If you've been browsing Realtor.ca or House Sigma, you've probably noticed homes just aren't selling. In fact, right now, only 1 out of every 5 homes in Milton is actually selling. That means 4 out of 5 sellers are sitting, dropping prices or relisting again and again. But here's the thing, you don't have to be one of them. Before you list your home, here's 5 steps and exactly what you need to do to make sure your home sells fast and for top dollars in 2025. I'm Fawad, Nissari, a real estate broker here in Milton, Ontario. I've been helping families buy and sell homes in Milton for over a decade and surrounding areas, and I've seen every kind of market, the crazy bidding wars, the slow months, and now this 2025 market where only smart planned listings actually move. This channel is where I share everything Milton homeowners need to know to make confident, profitable decisions when it comes to real estate. And today I'm going to break down the 5 key steps you need to do or take before you list your home to make sure it's one of the few that actually sells and sells for the best price possible. So grab a notebook. These are the same steps we use on every listing we take on, and they work. Okay, so let's start with the big one, price. Honestly, this is where most homes in Milton go wrong right now. And here's what usually happens. A seller says, my neighbor sold their house for $1.2 million back in 2021, so mine should be worth around the same price point. The agent that they're interviewing, not wanting to lose the listing, says, sure, let's give it a try. Then that home sits in the market and nothing happens. No offers, barely any showings. A few weeks later, they come back to you and say, well, we got to drop the price. So you drop the price. And then a few weeks later, again, they ask the same thing. Well, Mark, you got to drop the price. And by the time it finally ends up selling, you end up getting a lot less than what you would have gotten if you had listed the correct price to begin with. The problem with this strategy is that buyers notice that when they see a home keep popping up, listed, terminated, relisted, price reduction, they start asking questions. What's wrong with the house? Even if nothing's wrong, the home now carries a bit of a stigma. And the reality is in 2025, buyers are educated. They are in House Sigma, on Zillow, every single night, comparing listings, what's sold, what's active, who's the competition, and things like that. So they know exactly what's selling. And even if you're overpriced just by a little bit, they'll scroll right past your listings and move on to the next one. That's why we do things a bit differently. When we take on listings, we invest around $8,000 to $10,000 of our own money in staging, professional photography, cinematic video, and paid advertising. So we cannot afford to play guessing games. We'll tell you with real data exactly what your home can sell for today, not what it might have sold for 3 months ago or even last year. And here's the key. When you price it right, you actually end up selling higher because the right price creates urgency. It gets buyers through the door, it builds competition, and that's what pushes your final price. Now, step 2 is staging. Once the price is right, the next piece of the puzzle that really matters is presentation. How your home feels when buyers walk in. You see, a lot of people think staging just means tossing a few pillows on the couch and adding some flowers. That's not staging, that's decorating. True staging is about design and flow. It's about creating an emotional connection so that the moment the buyer walks through that front door, they can actually see themselves living there. Let me give you an example. We staged a 3-bedroom detached house in Milton. It was about 1,300 square feet. When we first walked in, the living room felt cramped. It had 2 oversized chairs, a heavy sofa, too much furniture for that space. All we did was remove those extra pieces, bring in a slimmer sofa and some softer lighting, and suddenly opened up. The photos looked brighter, in-person buyers stayed longer during showings, and the house sold above the market value while other homes on the same street sat there for weeks with no offers. See, professional staging usually costs money, costs between $4,000 to $7,000. And most agents won't pay that because they're not confident your home will sell. In fact, they are the one who agreed with whatever price you wanted to sell. So why would they go and spend $5,000 to stage your home? Because they know for a fact they're not going to be able to get that price. We see that again and again and again. Staging changes how buyers feel about home, and that's what it gets sold. That's why we treat staging as an investment, not an expense. Because buyers don't buy walls and floors these days. They buy how the home makes. Now moving on to step 3, property video films. Now these days, the first showing doesn't happen in person. It actually happens online. and you don't even know about it. See, buyers decide in seconds whether a home feels worth seeing in real life. Photos are good, but videos take it to a whole nother level. We create full cinematic video walkthroughs, smooth camera movements, wide angle shots, drone angles, and lifestyle clips that shows what it actually feels like to live in this house and in this neighborhood. It's not about showing the walls, it's about showing the experience. We've had buyers call us after watching one of our videos saying, I feel like I've been already inside this house. That's what you want buyers connecting. That's what you want. Buyers connecting emotionally before they even book the showing. I've seen it again and again. Same house, same price, no video, no staging, sits for weeks. And once you add some staging, cinematic film, and you market it, it sells. That's the difference between showing your property and selling it. Now, moving on to step 4, marketing. Even the best photos and the videos don't mean much if nobody sees them. And this is the part where most agents completely overlook. A typical agent lists your home, holds a couple of open houses, maybe posts it once on their social media. Then they sit back, cross their fingers, and says, well, the market's just slow right now. But while they're saying that, other homes are. So is it really the market or is it the marketing? We do the opposite. We treat every listing like a product launch. Every single one of our listings runs on daily ad campaigns across Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, and even YouTube TV. So instead of your home waiting for buyers, we're putting it right in front of them, 24 hours. While homes are barely getting any showings in this market, one of our listings got over 87 showings in just 3 weeks. Over 100,000 people saw the listing video on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And our sellers, they got 5 offers. That's the power of marketing. And just to be clear, we don't spend your marketing budget on just sold, just listed flyers with our face on them. That doesn't sell your home. Every single ad dollar goes directly into promoting your property. And we even guarantee that in writing that your listing will be seen by at least 50,000 real people online within the first 3 weeks. That's what turns visibility into real qualified showings and showings into. Now, step 5, let's talk about something that's just as important as pricing or marketing. Who you choose to work with. Even with the right price, maybe somewhat staging, if your agent isn't doing the job properly, your home can still sit on the market. And here's how it usually goes. Most agents ask what price you want to list your house at. No matter what you say, they agree. Not because the price is right, because they don't want to lose that listing. Then you sign a 6-month contract, and once you're locked in, the story changes. A few weeks later, when nothing's happening, the same agent calls and says, well, the market's slow right now. We'll need to drop your price. A few more weeks go by again, and then they ask again. We need to. And there's nothing you could do about it because you signed a 6-month contract. Remember, when you signed the 6-month contract, now you have to work with them for 6 months. We don't like that practice. We believe homeowners should have choice. The choice to work with someone who actually delivers and the freedom to walk away if they don't. That's why our listing agreement is a 1-day contract that renews every 24 hours. If at any point you feel we're not doing what we promised, you can fire us, no questions asked. And to make that fair, we put everything. Now, let's be honest, if your agent is taking a few photos, putting your property on MLS and holding a couple of open houses, then why even bother working with them? In fact, I can walk you through how to do those things yourself. I'll even do those things for free for you because it doesn't cost much and it doesn't take a lot of effort. But if you actually want your home to be sold, your agent should be investing in your property financially and strategically. And if they're not putting their own money and marketing muscle behind it, why should you trust them with one of your biggest assets? Times have changed. Buyers shop differently, market works differently, and real estate should too. That's why who you work with matters. On average, our listings sell for about $25,000 more than the competition. That's not luck. That's what happens when there's a real plan behind the sale. So, before you list your home in Milton in 2025 or even 2026, remember this. It's not just about putting a sign on the lawn. It's about having the right plan, right presentation, and the right person guiding the process. When you price your home correctly, stage it so it feels amazing, show it beautifully on the video, and actually market it, buyers will come and your home will be the one that will actually sell, even in a tough market like this. So if you're thinking about selling your home in 2025 or 2026, let's have a quick conversation. No pressure, no obligation, just a straight talk about what your home could sell for and how to get the most out of it. There's a link where you can book a free call with me in the description box below. Thanks for watching.